Hey, it's Marthea Pitts, the MSW coach. And let me move my computer closer. I've been sitting here watching the sunrise in my office area. I just finished eating breakfast, drinking my water. I even had a conversation with the people in my Instagram stories about something that I'm working on today. I was like, let me record a podcast episode. So you're gonna see the lines in my face because I am a Florida baby. So I love the sun. I don't like the heat. I can't tolerate it like I used to as a child before Central Air was a thing in all of the family homes in South Florida. I've endured a lot of heat, so I can't tolerate it. However, I still love the daylight. I love the sun. And so I'm just so thankful. I'm just so thankful. Um, yeah, so I've been sitting here, I just finished eating my breakfast, taking my vitamins, enjoying my slow morning. I've been up since 6. Uh, a mentor of mine, he has a weekly, I believe it's weekly. I just been able to start catching it again because I've been waking up on time and it works because he's in a different time zone from where I am. So actually it's not me having to wake up early to catch it. But anyway, I spent some time on his live this morning. He has Gratitude Tuesday. And so I attended it last week and I'm going to try to make it a consistent thing because I love to wake up in a place of gratitude. So that's where I am right now. But I was like, I wanted to come on and talk for a minute about and ask you a question. What are you doing today to position yourself to be where you want to be 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Um, I am very big on planning out your future regarding how that's going to look in your centered around your money making generated source, right? Money making generating source, um, which is your job, your career. Everyone has to work. Even if you own a business, you still got to work. Right? No one is exempt from working unless you have just been born into a wonderful situation, which is my hopes for the generations after us. Like we can do the work now for the generations to come from us so they don't have to work as hard. So in order to do that though, you have to plan. You have to plan. You have to move beyond just today, just right now, the immediate, and you have to really do a lot of deeper level work around. And if I look up, that's me looking out the window. I like to look out the window. Um, you have to do a lot of deeper level work and to identify what is it that you want your work to look like because it is so easy to get caught up in the trap of just what do people call it? The rat race, going through the rat race, getting up every day, going through the job. That's how you end up being a person who looks up and is 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, and they're still in the same place they were 5, 10, 15, 20 years earlier. This is why there is I saw a video the other day on my Marthea Pitts YouTube channel that came up in a recommendation feed. And it was a video by a woman, and the title was, Why Are 40-year-olds Quitting Their Jobs at a High Rate? Right? I didn't have time to click the video. I just watched the link because I'm already familiar with the phenomenon, right? What I have noticed over the last 2 years is an like a ever increasing like number of people who are, I would say 35 to 40 if you are really, really like high achiever, right? If you're really forward in your thinking, they have exited the workforce. I see, however, though, a lot of people um in their 40s, but more so like in their late 40s, in their 50s, who are making a mass exodus from the workforce. And what I believe is happening based on the stories that I've listened to, things like that, been a part of, which I've been following this thing for the last several years, because there are whole communities around women who are late 40s, early 50s, mid 50s, late 50s, or even early 60s, who are making a mass exodus. A lot of them are leaving the country. And let me be clear, the conversations that I've been privy to are conversations of women who look like me. And so, but however, I see this dynamic in other communities, right? Just from observing afar. And so I want to say that what I've noticed is a trend is that a lot of the women are making these mass exodus due to bad experiences in the workplace, bad experiences in their career, even deeper than that, bad experiences in their professional life. However, when it comes to in their personal life, however, when it comes to the bad experiences in the personal life, that's not like really glamorized. You really have to dig back and peel back a bunch of layers to really get to the root cause, which I'm a macro social worker. I really like to understand, why are you leaving, right? It ain't just that last job you had. It's usually a buildup of something as a result of something. And a lot of these women are making the mass exodus due to the systemic issues that they face in the workplace, in the world, in America, in their personal life, the dynamics of being required to be the matriarch and to be the, super saver hero of the family members and things like that. And honestly, people are just tired. They're just tired, right? And so I come on today to talk about that, so you are aware of like this dynamic, and that it could possibly become a thing for you too. And to really implore you to be thinking long term, right? As I always tell you all, like when you are in your early 20s, when you are even in your mid 20s, even to your late 20s, right? You can go 100 miles an hour in your career. However, over time, you will eventually learn the importance of working smarter and not necessarily harder. Why? Because what happens is somewhere around your early 30s, you realize that this working hard, super, super hard, where you're doing the job of 10 people, you're taking on all of the extra tasks, you're taking on all of the extra projects, you are volunteering for things outside of your 9 to 5, you are showing up as 10 people for your family and friends. You will realize over time that you don't really have the energy for that. And it's not even the energy, it's more so the capacity to hold that. Because when you shift into your 30s, that's when you really start, your eyes become open to the importance of prioritizing yourself. And so what I see is happening with the people like in their late 40s, early 50s is they have gone from what I call the awakening stage to now they are going full blown. So they are using their investments and their savings to leave the workforce at a mass number. Um, and so I wanted to bring this on because with that, it had to be a lot of strategic, like planning that went into place to get them there, even though they probably didn't know the end goal was going to be, I'm going to leave my job at 52, right? They didn't know that. They just was saving and planning because that's what society tells us to do. So I wanted to share that with you all, that to say that you should be planning as well. Not saying that you will leave the workforce early, but just in case you want to do it, just in case you want to, or just in case you want to shift out of case management work to not not as much of a front facing role, you should be planning accordingly, right? And this is where I talk about the importance of shifting from having low career intent to high career intent. Low career intent is where people get stuck in their jobs and they look up and it's 30, 40 years later and they're still there, they're still in that same position. I can't tell you the number of social workers I met who say they've been in their jobs for 12 years because it was a job that somebody just told them, gave them. I'm like, well, do you like it? And they're like, no. Right. And I'm like, well, here's a solution. How I can help you shift into something that you like on some level. And it's a process. I'm gonna just say it's a process. I could offer the solution all day and night. However, if you're not ready to experience that change, I always say you got to get your mind right. Like I like to put stuff in real world terms. How I say it is, if you haven't gotten your mind right around the thing, and really accept that your reality as you know it can be different, that you can create a life of ease for yourself and still have a thriving career, you are not going to be open to these other alternatives, right? However, you don't want to get to the point where your hand is forced, where you're forced to make the mass exodus because you are severely burned out again, which I think is a large part of why I see a large number of women leaving is because, yeah, they planned financially to be financially secure. However, they did not plan accordingly to shift their life to a life of ease, right? They were under the impression, like many people who don't have enough career information, that their life has to be rapid, 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 rapid pace. So what I mean by that, and I'll give you an explicit example, is I see a lot of high-level executive leaders, professionals, people who are on the CEO level, the senior level, executive level, leaving their careers, right? These are people who were major in their respective industries and they're just walking away from the whole thing. And so what that tells me on a deeper level when I research it a little bit more is, yeah, you had a plan to have impact, to, gain this authority and amass this wealth through your career. However, you were under the impression that how you showed up in your career in the 20s was going to be the same when you hit your late 40s, early 50s. And it ain't gonna be that way because you don't have to keep going at that rate, right? You don't have to be on 50 committees. You don't have to have 500 degrees. You don't have to have 3 doctoral degrees. You don't have to be on every panel and board there is. You can create a life of ease for yourself where you monetize one lane of expertise and you do your work in a way that is, what is the word? That supports how you want to do your work from day in and day out. This is why I created my 3 Ps framework around, because I wanted to be clear around what it is. How do I like to do my work? I am very clear. I communicated with people in my personal life. I know for a fact what type of work I am able to do with the level capacity that I am currently at. I know how I want my day-to-day work to be. One of my coaching clients asked me the other day, she was like, "Marthea, you always look so happy. Why is that?" I said, because I don't do any work that is over and beyond how I want my day-to-day work to look. I don't align myself with any projects that don't align with my population and issue. Right. And so I won't get into detail about how like my day-to-day work to look because I want you to establish your own by looking at your like history. And I'm gonna give you a strategy, right? I didn't write any notes for this, but I always give you a strategy because I want you to do this, right? So based on my framework, which is called the 3 Ps framework, it's the framework that I created in my cubicle with 120 plus caseload. It has then helped me since land 5 macro jobs, become a social entrepreneur, a person who it has helped me coach well over technically 70,000 professionals worldwide on some level, shape, and form, either through my marketing, through my content that I release, through my e-course, through my workshops, through my paid coaching programs, which I have several of them. It's been over 70,000 worldwide. And I've had people in Australia get macro jobs. I have people on small islands in the Pacific Ocean get macro jobs and take charge of their career. I've helped hundreds of people shift from having very low career satisfaction to high career satisfaction. And it was all based on this framework around getting crystal clear around what can you blend in your career to build in moments of joy, happiness for you so you can move in alignment. It also centers around helping people get crystal clear around how they want their day-to-day work to look, and then what population and issue they want their work to center on so they can have buy-in to be driven, a why to keep doing this work. And so this tangible strategy that I want you to think about today is, out of all of the work that you have ever done in life, it could be paid, it could be unpaid, it could be an internship, it could be a practicum. It could have been that one time you were in high school and you worked as a candy striper at the hospital. I want you to think about all of the work that you've ever done in your life and identify the one thing that you enjoyed the most. It could have been something that you did one time in passing, and you were like, I wish I could do more of that. I really enjoyed that, right? I want you to identify that, and it's going to take some self-reflection. Of course, there's more questions that I use to guide people through this clarity process, but for the sake of this conversation, for the sake of right now, I want you to just answer that one question. So I want you to answer that question, and what it will help you do is start getting clarity around what you want your day-to-day work to look like. So you then can start creating opportunities for yourself or going after job opportunities for yourself that align with that. So you don't find yourself being forced out due to burnout, due to trauma, due to bad experiences, due to low career satisfaction, especially if this is your own money making generator source. We got to feed ourselves. We got to work. Even if you're a business owner, you got to work. Actually, you work harder as a business owner. You work 40 hours a week, 50, no, more than 40. You work 24/7, really, truly. It can vary based on how your business model is set up, but you still have to work. However, even in your own business, you should be clear about how do you like to work, right? An example is if you're like, I like to just, I like to educate the people. That's it, right? I don't like doing the other stuff. Maybe that's what your thing is. Then that means that you shouldn't create a business or go after a job that requires you to do the minutia things, right? That requires you to do all of the admin back of the house things, because that is going to drive you up the wall because you are a big picture person. So you start with that question. What is one thing that you've enjoyed doing in the past that you would really like to do more of, and get clarity on that? And then start only seeking opportunities that support that, regardless of how big the job title is, regardless how big the salary is, regardless of who's pressuring you in your current job to go after this new position that they want to promote you to. If it does not align with how you said you want your day-to-day work to look like, you shouldn't be going after it. That's another thing that I see. I see a lot of people, a lot of social workers going after these very lofty career goals. However, when it's me and them, and I'm asking them questions about what they really, really like to do, they don't even like to do these things. And the damage, and for me, it's not even just about the person. For me, I'm more concerned from a workforce development lens as a social entrepreneur. I am more concerned about the much larger impact of people showcasing these careers that they're not aligned in and that they don't really like behind the scenes. Because what is happening is They are silently and loudly glamorizing careers that they don't even like. And then it becomes the goalpost for the next generation of workers who are admiring them from afar. And then this generation of workers, but this new generation of workers doesn't realize that these people don't like what they do. They're burned out. They are suffering behind the scenes. They are breaking. They are busting at the seams. They need so much support to hold them up from day to day. And then what's happening though is they're highlighting this. They're making this the trophy because these other people are idolizing them, which you should not be idolizing in. Oh God. Um, they're idolizing them. And then this becomes the measure of success. However, the people watching them don't have enough information because the other person is not telling them the truth. Like, I really don't like it. And if I could do it different, I would do this. Right? You don't know until the person leaves. And then what happens is you have this new generation that's shooting for this. And then it's like a never ending cycle. So then the new generation becomes the other generation and the new generation gets burnt out and leaves out. Like it's just a never ending cycle. That's why I'm really on a mission to help people create healthy careers, like a healthy career life. And I'm on here every day trying, being honest, being very transparent about what I see, because the truth is a lot of people are lying to y'all. Like if you spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, some people are lying to you. They don't enjoy their work. How do I know that? I know that because I can go and look at their resume and look at the places where they've been, what they've done. And because I've worked with, at this point, I probably have worked with over 200,000 people in the last 10 years around career related information, career related support. That's in my professional life, in my 9 to 5 and where I am now. When you have more deeper contextual conversations with these people, they hate their jobs. And it's the loudest people on LinkedIn that hate their jobs, that are quitting their jobs, that are taking sabbaticals from their jobs, not because they want to travel the country, it's because their hand was forced. They went on burnout leave. They are suffering severe medical conditions. These are the things y'all don't know. Their personal relationships are falling apart, right? They're getting divorced from their partners and all of the things because their career is taking a negative toll on their life. And I really want to help people just rewrite like career narratives as a whole. You can have a career that you love. There are jobs out there, right? So answer that question. If you want to learn more about macro social work careers and jobs, grab my free e-course down in the link below at macroandpaid.com and share this video with a friend. I'll talk with you later. Happy macro career planning. Bye.